Welcome. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest secrets in AI. It's a hidden technique, really, and it's the reason our AI models are getting smaller, faster, and, well, shockingly powerful. So this brings us to the central mystery, doesn't it? On one hand, you have these massive behemoth AI models with hundreds of billions of parameters. You can think of those as the knobs and dials the AI uses to think. But then, you've also got these incredibly capable models that can run right on your phone. So how do these smaller models punch so far above their weight? Let's dive in. Well, the answer, believe it or not, can be found inside a sort of digital classroom. So for our first chapter, we're going to start with the core concept, and I think you'll find it's way more intuitive than you might think. The technique itself is called knowledge distillation. Now, what on earth does that mean? Okay, picture this. It's like a master chef who has spent a lifetime perfecting their craft. They can't just hand over their entire kitchen, right, or their decades of experience. So instead, they write down their best, most simplified recipes so a junior cook can make those same amazing dishes, but in a much smaller kitchen. That is exactly what's happening here. And what's really wild here is just the sheer difference in scale. The teacher is this enormous model, trained on something like 50 trillion tokens of data. And tokens are just pieces of words. The student, though, is way, way smaller. It doesn't have to wade through that messy, raw ocean of internet data. Nope. It gets a perfectly curated, filtered curriculum straight from the teacher. So, now that we've got the basic concept down, let's move on to Chapter 2. Here, we're going to look at the actual lesson plan, the specific methods these AI teachers are using to pass down all that wisdom. And you know, this is the really crucial part. The best kind of teaching isn't about just memorizing answers for a test, right? It's about understanding the logic, the reasoning behind the answers. The goal here is to transfer real intelligence, not just simple mimicry. This slide breaks down the two main ways this happens beautifully. On the left, you've got output distillation. This is pretty simple. The student AI just copies the teacher's final answer. It learns what to say. But the real game changer is on the right, feature distillation. This is where the student learns to match the teacher's internal thought process, all the patterns and connections happening deep inside its network. It's the difference between learning a line and understanding the character's motivation. It learns how to think. Now, the whole process got even more powerful when these models figured out how to become their own teachers. This led to a massive leap forward in their reasoning skills, all without needing a single new piece of human data. Let's take a look at how that actually works. And this is it. It's a technique called self-distillation from proof, or SDP. First, the AI will generate, say, 100 different ways to solve a really hard math problem. Next, a simple checker, like a calculator, zips through all the solutions and finds the one single path that actually worked. And then finally, this is the distillation part, the model retrains itself, but only on the chain of reasoning that led to that one correct answer. It's literally learning from its own success and throwing out all the failures. Okay, let's move into our final chapter and talk about the takeaway. What's the real-world impact of all this? Now that these student models have graduated, so to speak, what effect is that having? And maybe more importantly, why was this shift even necessary to begin with? Well, the simple truth is we've kind of run out of road. For years, to make AI smarter, we just fed it more and more of the internet. But we're at a point now where we've basically fed it all the high-quality text there is. The industry actually calls this the data wall. We can't just keep scraping the web hoping for better models. So the solution has been a really radical shift. As you can see here, more than half of the training data used for today's top AI models is now synthetic. And that just means it was generated by another AI. We've gone from mining the internet for data to manufacturing our own higher quality data. And here is exactly why that shift is so powerful. Look, human data from the internet is finite, it's messy, it's expensive to label, and it's full of all the biases of humanity. Synthetic data, though, it's practically infinite, you can control the quality and purify it, it's cheap to make, and you can actually use it to manually balance out the biases that came from the original data. It's a huge advantage. This quote really just nails it. A student model can actually become better than another model of the same size that was trained on raw internet data. And why is that? Because it's not wasting its time learning all the noise and junk and contradictions online. It's learning from a perfect, clean, logical curriculum designed by an expert. But of course, this brave new world isn't without its own set of dangers. When you create a system where AIs are the main teachers for the next generation of AIs, well, you introduce some new and really complex risks that we have to be super careful about. There are three really big ones to keep an eye on. The first is model collapse. Think of it as an AI echo chamber, where new models just learn the same biases from their predecessors over and over until they lose touch with reality. Second, there are huge legal risks. You can't just use the output from GPT-4o to train your own commercial model. That's a major violation of their terms of service. And third, there's something called linguistic mimicry, where the student learns to sound just as confident as its teacher, but without the deep reasoning to back it up. And that leads to these hallucinations that are super convincing, but totally wrong. So here's the real takeaway. The future isn't just AIs teaching other AIs in some closed loop. The secret to making this all work is finding the right balance, using the incredible scale of AI-generated data, but constantly grounding it with a stream of high-quality, human-verified data to keep these models accurate, creative, and, sane. And that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. We've built a system where machines can pass knowledge down to the next generation of machines, getting better and more refined each time. So what's our role in all this? What does this mean for the future of human knowledge and creativity itself?